Hello guys, I'm gonna try to get this one done fast because I gotta go to bed. But at the same time, it's like 5 different stories. I'm gonna give you just a summary of them, and I'm gonna share all of them as much as I can within the time frame that I wanna finish it in. Um, and they are all connected to Marianne Williamson. It is it is a scramble of news, and let's say Marianne Williamson is the main ingredient. And because all these, like I said, all these stories, they make me think of her and her campaign and the story that is about out about her right now. And so I don't even know where to start. I guess I'll start with Marianne and the main story, and then share the other stories, and then explain how they make me think of Marianne Williamson, and we'll end with Marianne again, I guess. So let me get started. So first of all, thanks to my 22 subscribers that might be watching, and thanks to the other 3 or 4 people who might be watching who are not subscribers. But let's get going. So about how long has it been? Like 2 or 3 months ago, maybe. There was a story out by Political about anonymous sources, talking about Marianne Williamson and sharing sharing a bad experiences supposedly that they had with her, about her just talking down to her staff in the previous 2020 campaign, and slamming a car door and throwing a cell phone at people. All kinds of, I want to say smear stories, because all these people were anonymous as far as I'm concerned, maybe except for one of them, I don't know. And a good chunk of Marianne Williamson supporters that campaigned for her, and worked for her in the 2020 campaign, they came out in her defense, including Peter Daou, I believe. And I'll get back to Peter Daou because some of the news relates to him. But so anyways, I think it was Political and some other mainstream, corporate news outlet. And I dismiss them. I dismissed it because I don't trust corporate news media anymore. I used to be a big CNN simp, let's say from like 2008 to about 2018. So, a good 10 years. But then, I just started following political channels like Kulinsky's, who I will get to as well because he's part of this story slightly. But so anyways, I stopped watching CNN a long time ago. I don't watch any corporate news anymore. If anything, I might watch Fox News the most, for different reasons. Not that I trust them really, but I think they have more interesting guests like Marianne Williamson, RFK, Cornel West, candidates running for office who are not Republican, who CNN and MSNBC don't want to give any airtime to because we all suspect they're colluding with the DNC, who I will get to. They're part of this story as well. Anyways, I digress. Political hit piece on Marianne Williamson, and I wish I remember the other outlet. I didn't believe it. I think most independent news people, especially supporters of Marianne, they were not persuaded by that story. With the exception of Dissidence, they bought into it, and I don't know. This story might vindicate those guys, honestly. So we'll see. So anyways, it came out, I dismissed it. And then another YouTube friend of mine, Carson, what's your last name? Is Carson your last name? Carter? I think it's Carter. He made his own video about this new Marianne Williamson story that does not put her in a good light. And he was critical of the article. And me, you know, I like Marianne Williamson, and but I learned my lesson, man. Last presidential candidate that I fawned over was Barack Obama, and I think many of us woke up since that time, and it's like I try to tell myself, like, don't freaking, you know, don't fall in love with politicians. And I really like Marianne Williamson. I like her campaign platform, and her website looks very detailed and stuff. But still, I tell myself, you know, she might let you down like many other people do. So this lady, young lady, I'm guessing, I think she's younger than me anyway, Jenn Dize, she's the one who wrote this, you know, who put together this story about Marianne Williamson, and it's pretty much the same allegations, or not the same, I guess, not exactly the same. There's no stories about her throwing phones or anything, but it is allegations that sound similar to political, you know, and these ones are from this time around, I guess, I think. If I remember her story, I read it once and then I heard it again because there's like an audio version of it. I heard her read the story, and then the audio version of the news article, or whatever you want to call it, reporting. There's audio of Marianne Williamson when who was the freaking campaign manager? I don't even know, because she's had like 2 different campaign managers, and right now she has Carlos Cardona as her campaign manager, I believe. So I'm guessing it was before Carlos. I don't know. She declared herself intermediate, I think. Like she was managing her own campaign, I guess. Anyways, so Jenn Dize has this article out, and she has a nonprofit news organization called Courage News. You know, as in being courageous, Courage News. And in this article, I think she claims that she spoke to like 30 people, all of them also, you know, secret, what do you call them? Anonymous people. Let me fix my phone. It feels very, there we go. I think that's better, but it keeps slipping on me. 1 second. I think that's better. Hopefully it'll stay that way. So, like I said, like 30 anonymous sources that she has, and which sounds suspicious. I was listening to Carter read parts of the article, and I hear that anonymous, and you know, red flags in my head are going off. And yeah, he didn't read the entire thing, I think, and also she keeps getting criticized about ballot access. This is not the first time I hear this about Marianne Williamson regarding ballot access. Apparently she's not putting in the work necessary to be on the ballot for the primary, and the primaries, you know, they're not that far away. I keep hearing from people that she is working on it, that she will be in the primaries. But apparently the people that were, according to Jenn Dize, people that were volunteering for her or that worked for her campaign, they were like scared to bring it up, supposedly, like she would just go off on them. if they brought up the whole ballot access conversation. She's also was being criticized that she was too focused on promoting her campaign online, but not doing a lot of the footwork and like organizing events and all that. And honestly, I was thinking about that. Like, when is she gonna have a rally where people can go to and I don't know, have a few hundred in there? I think she has enough support to get a good chunk of people. No Bernie Sanders volume per se as of right now, but I think she can get a good chunk of people like RFK did when he launched his campaign. He had a few hundred people, hundreds of people, I think. I think she can pull that off. I've been wondering why not. But yeah, they're talking about that in this. This anonymous sources are telling Jenn Dize from Courage News that yeah, she's organizing too much around churches, and I think she's like something about putting some kind of prayer or something. They're also accusing her of not letting people use pronouns or something like that, or promote pronouns. I gotta read it again, but it's so late. I recommend you look it up though. Look her up on Twitter, Jenn Dize. What else is this story alleging? This other thing, the NDAs. Listen, I don't know what's up with the goddamn NDA conversation. I don't like how it sounds. Non-disclosure agreements, like you're not allowed to talk about this campaign. NDAs are every fucking where in America. Corporations use them and whatever. I don't care about that. If they're unethical, if there's something wrong with them morally, ethically, just don't use them. But I don't know. For all I know, Cornel West is using them too. I'm not gonna render judgment on her, like especially not negatively on NDAs, because I'm not all in on it. I don't know how often they get used. Do all the campaigns use them? Did Bernie use them? I don't have any information on that or knowledge about that. I don't know if Bernie used NDAs. I don't know if Cornel West is using them. I don't know if any other third parties. I'm assuming RFK is using them. I know Trump's probably using them. I don't like it how it sounds. I don't like that it's secretive. But I don't know, maybe it's a good reason to keep some things secret. But the reason all these 30 plus whatever sources are not giving their names is because of these goddamn NDAs. That's what they're claiming, What else? What did I write in my notes here? Marianne Williamson. I can't even read my own writing, I swear to God. Oh. So, this story by Jenn Dize, I'm not looking at it as skeptical as I was with the political story. Simple reason is because I looked into Jenn Dize's background, see what she was all about, see what associations she had. Is she like connected to corporate media and all that? And maybe she is part of a hit. Maybe she is writing a hit piece. That's what I was thinking to myself. That's because the story sounded a lot like political, except for 2024. So I did a little digging. Not much because I'm not good at that kind of shit, but I Googled her name. I looked her up on Twitter and all these places. I put Jenn Dize on Google 2016, and there is a tweet from her debunking some myth, some made up story about 2016. I think some corporate Democrat was accusing Bernie supporters of being violent in the Nevada caucus or something. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but she debunked it properly so, because her story pretty much redeemed the Bernie supporter. So I'm guessing she was a Bernie supporter, and in that era, in that time, in 2016. Then I found out that she was, or is, I think she is a close friend of Jordan Chariton. If you don't know who Jordan Chariton is, a very trusted source in my part that this guy does some very good independent journalism. Like they do underground journalism. They go to Michigan for the Flint water crisis, and right now they're in Michigan again regarding paper mail, I think. They sent one of the reporters. I wish I remember this kid's name. He's fairly new, but he's doing a good job over in East Palestine, Ohio, and I don't know what he's up to right now. They were talking about having plans to go to the border and do some reporting from there, etc., etc. He does important stories as far as I'm concerned, and so she's very close friends with Jordan Chariton, and he is the guy, the face of Status Coup, Status Coup News on YouTube and probably Twitter. Turns out Jenn Dize co-founded Status Coup News with him, and when she left Status Coup News, I found a video of Jordan. I'm just giving you a background on this girl because I don't see any red flags about her. She does not strike me as a partisan hack or corporate Democrat hack, or just corporate hack trying to take down a progressive. She doesn't strike me as that person. That's why I'm worried about this story, because I'm worried that it might be true, man, and my confidence might be shaking right now. I'm not even playing. Jordan Chariton, when she left, she separated from Status Coup. Apparently, they weren't working well together, even though they were friends for a long time, very close friends, but the work chemistry, I guess, just wasn't there. Jordan put out a very emotional video saying that he was sad that it couldn't work out, and he was tearing up, and he wished her the best of luck, and she posted on Twitter, like, don't unsubscribe from Status Coup, support them, it's my baby. They left in good terms, okay? What else did I learn about Jenn Dize? There was one other thing that is slipping my mind right now. 2016, Bernie, yep. Status Coup, yep. She made a video in 2020. It's not the part that I wanted to highlight about her, but it's just coming to my mind, where she's criticizing Kamala Harris and giving credit to Tulsi Gabbard for pretty much destroying Kamala's chances of becoming president, really, in 2020. The other point I want to make about Jenn Dize, her news organization that she started is, I guess, Status Coup like, maybe even more ethical, I guess. And I didn't think I could get more ethical than Status Coup, but this is like a straight up non-profit news organization. That's what it seems like to me. She has like a PayPal for Courage News, and yeah, she does underground reporting, or she did. I don't know if she still does it, but she did underground reporting. I think she did a lot of reporting on Flint, Michigan as well. Yeah, that was the other main one, Flint, Michigan. She was involved in that. She was exposing all the corruption, and she did a good job, man. And now she has this nonprofit news organization, and it's a small news organization. It's news for the people. So as far as I'm concerned, this girl is clean as a whistle. I don't see any red flags regarding her. And one of Marianne's volunteers, I think, she contacted me on Twitter via direct message, and I'm not gonna give her name or her name, but because I don't know. Look, man, I'm just a Marianne supporter. I'm not a news guy or reporter. I post these videos like this because I wanna spread what I think needs to be said about this country and our politics and our government, and I'm supporting Marianne Williamson, and I know she's fighting an uphill battle. So that's why I do what I do right here. I'm way out of my comfort zone making videos like this, okay? So she told me, I'll come back to the Marianne volunteer for a minute. Jenn, let me stick with Jenn Dize, because Jenn Dize, if you know, I don't know how close you follow Marianne's campaign and her circle of close friends, or what do you want to call it, simpatico, friendly independent news outlets around her, or, politics outlets. It'd be Krystal and Kulinsky and the Vanguard. Those are the three that, that like her, support her. I think she officiated their wedding, etc. And I see nothing wrong with that. They keep hating on Kyle and Krystal for that. I don't see the problem as long as they stay, truthful. Just tell me your biases up front and give me the news and share your opinion. Just tell me up front what you're all about. And as far as I'm concerned, that's what they're doing. Jenn Dize posted on Twitter where she emailed or DM'd Kyle Kulinsky, I believe. Or was it Krystal? I think it was Kyle. One of them too, but I think it was Kyle. Because, like I said, she had all these sources, this 30 or 30 plus anonymous sources that worked on her campaign this time around for 2024, who either quit or she fired them, and they claim that they can't speak because they signed the NDAs for Marianne, so they're remaining anonymous for that reason. Marianne responded to Jenn's article on the Vanguard, and I'm glad she did, but I don't know why she's not responding to Jenn, because Jenn gave her an opportunity to give her side of the story. She reached out to her. So she reached out to Kyle because she knows Kyle is very simpatico. You can say they're friends of Marianne Williamson, him and Krystal. They I don't think Kyle ever got back to her, and I think he should, honestly. I don't even know how involved Kyle is with her campaign, but I do know he supports her. I do know they're friends. They have a very friendly relationship. So I don't know. He should just get back to her or send her a statement at least. Like, I don't know, if you're not involved with that campaign, then say that I'm a close friend of hers. I support her, but I don't know any of these people. But I doubt it, man. I think he would know something, But I cannot picture Kyle being a liar. He gets called a liar a lot of times, and not by me, because I'm remaining objective. And I fact check some of the shit Kyle says, and the dude doesn't lie, man. Just because he changes his opinion on other things, they trying to call him a freaking sellout or something for that. And it makes sense why, when he explains it fucking makes sense why he changes his position on certain issues, or like he just changed his position on Biden. He still doesn't like Biden, but let's say he hates him less, I guess. I think he thinks there's a significant gap now between Democratic candidates and Republicans. And I agree with that sentiment. Doesn't mean we don't want to fucking unseat Biden, challenge him, keep pushing him left, like Marianne. That's why I support Marianne, because she had the courage to step up and freaking challenge him. She was the first one. Jenn, so she never heard back from Kyle. And then she was supposed to go on the Vanguard, another group very close to Marianne. So you see how all this shit revolves around Marianne so far, and it's just gonna continue. The Vanguard was supposed to, like, yeah, we'll have you over, and we just wanna. She was expecting that she was gonna be there, like show up and just share her article with them and what she was working on regarding Marianne, and just tell them, like, I spoke to this many people and I have all these sources and I was able to verify such things. And the bank so far, it was like, yeah, we'll have you over. This day works. Yeah, I'll be there for that day. And then the Vanguard pulls a fast one, and I agree with her because this bothered her, and she called it. They bring it up on her or something like that. The Vanguard tells her that Carlos Cardona, the Marianne Williamson campaign manager, was gonna be with her and them. He was gonna be part of the interview. And Jenn Dize replied to them saying, I did not know this was gonna be a panel. You're springing this on me. It's pretty unprofessional, she says. But she also led by saying, I will show up anyway, but just know this is kind of unprofessional. I don't think this is okay. But I'll show up anyway because I want answers, she said. But the Vanguard ended up canceling it. They say something else in response to her. And she's like, okay, well, I think she said, where's the link or something? And they replied to her, nah, never mind, because you didn't feel comfortable. I think they made up an excuse to not have her on. And she said, well, why not? Like, you were supposed to have me on. Do you know how unprofessional this is? I was here. I actually made time to come and talk to you guys. And she felt aggrieved, and I agree with her, man. I mean, I love Marianne, but God damn it, I'm not gonna fucking, I'm not gonna ignore facts or dismiss, or smear somebody who I don't feel are being treated fairly. And I think this is what's happening with this Jenn Dize girl, who I never heard about until 2 or 3 days ago. And when Carter was reading that article. And so she sent them like 5 DMs in a row, like, within a minute or 3 or something. Like, please reply, what's going on? And they never replied back. And then they went on their channel, I wish I was more tech savvy and I can just share all these clips and shit, but I don't know how to do that. So the Vanguard's talking about her, and they could share their version of their story. She shared hers, and I think hers is more valid. Honestly, I think the Vanguard made the wrong moves. They should have had her on, and with Carlos or without Carlos, she was willing to go, and she suspects that the Marianne campaign told them not to do it. They're pretty much, she's accusing them of being puppets of Marianne, or she suspects that they're being puppets. They're acting as veneers or shields for the Marianne campaign. Carlos Cardona influenced them or something. Okay, let me move on to other stories now. That's all the Jenn part. I will keep coming back to it, but that's the main course. RFK and the DNC is rigging his campaign. Sabby Sabs, pretty much, what do you call it, Schadenfreude, taking pleasure in his pain, I guess. Like, she might break her goddamn arm patting herself in the back. RFK, apparently the DNC told him, and I guess they told Marianne too, I don't know. They changed the fucking rules in a couple of states. I don't know if it was the DNC, the national organization, or the freaking state versions. I think New Hampshire and was it Maine? I don't know. Iowa maybe. States where the primary is gonna happen. They changed the fucking rules where the not incumbent candidates like RFK or Marianne, I guess, they have to win 80% of the vote to get any fucking delegates. So if they win the state by 50%, 51, 60%, 55%, that's not good enough. You gotta reach 80% to get any delegates apparently. That's what RFK said. And so yeah, man, that's them rigging the process for Joe Biden. So I continue to say, because of this kind of shenanigans they're doing, especially to Marianne, because I don't support RFK really, but they're doing it to Marianne as well. I'm planning on voting for Cornel West. I don't live in a swing state anyway. I do say if I were in a swing state, I might hold my nose and vote for Biden. But this is precisely what the problem is with RFK. And so now another freaking thing they did is that they don't wanna pay. The DNC does not wanna pay for the fucking primary to take place in these states. And they told RFK that he should pay for he should pay for the primary because the DNC doesn't want a primary because the DNC already wants Biden. It cannot be more undemocratic than that. And people keep asking, why do we push the Democrats when I'm fucking debating Biden Democrats, let's call them, because I don't think they know this kind of shit, and they are so what's the word? It's like a cult. Not necessarily a cult, but they're so biased that they don't want to admit it, that they try to justify shit like this. This is undemocratic. We are worried about the fascists on the other side. Trump, DeSantis, and them. With their freaking anti-abortion crusade and rolling back child labor laws and trying to criminalize free speech. Fucking with trans people. All that shit. We are worried about these fucking people. They are the fascist threat. They are the virus. But the DNC represents a weak-ass immune system. I mean, son of a bitch, man. I started again the video because my phone's doing that stupid thing again where it stops a half hour. And I'm already in half hour. Unbelievable. So, Sabs, like I said, she has dem derangement syndrome, but go watch it. Just, take that grain of salt. Be aware. She's very anti-dem derangement syndrome. She won't give them any credit for any good policy they may have implemented in the last 4 years. And that's what her whole RBN, Jimmy Dores, all those people, that's what they do. They don't want to bother with that. Because somehow that takes away from the third party candidate, I guess. But one last thing regarding RFK. She touched on this shit that keeps happening. Back in 2016, Bernie supporters sued the DNC. They wanted to get their money back because the process was rigged. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I understand it, that was the lawsuit. What the lawsuit was about. And the DNC lawyer was being completely shameless, saying that we don't have to have a fair process. Shit like that. We can just elect a candidate. We don't have to listen to the voters pretty much. We don't have to follow our charter or something like that. And I read this story before. The judge that was overseeing that case, he ended up ruling in favor of the DNC. And if I could remember correctly, it was over standing. I think the judge determined that the people, Bernie supporters didn't have standing, meaning like you don't have a freaking dog in this fight. That's what they were saying and telling. That's what he told them. I think he was wrong. I think he was protecting the DNC too, but not so much to where they can get away with what the bullshit that lawyer was saying, because the judge did push back against that kind of commentary from the lawyer, saying that the DNC doesn't have to give money back, and he was even saying that people can't take DNC to court or shit like that. But regarding the charter thing, that he's saying that we don't have to follow our charter, which their charter apparently says have a fair process, motherfucker. Don't quit fucking cheating. Don't cheat. Do it fair and be transparent. The DNC lawyer was arguing that no, we don't really have to do that, and the judge did say to him, I'm paraphrasing all this shit because I can't remember it. It was a long article and I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I do remember the part where the judge said, no, like, you may have done it like that in the past or something like that. He alluded, maybe that's how it used to work, but there is an expectation that you need to follow your charter or something like that. But he didn't rule on that. Sabby Sabs keeps sharing the story wrong, like mixing the names or something. Who was the freaking judge? The judge was Williamson, I think that was his name. But she keeps saying that, and I think she said it on Brianna Joy Gray, that the judge said this, what the DNC lawyer said. She's saying that the judge said it. That's what she said on BJG, on Bad Faith with Brianna Joy Gray. And then on this one where she's dancing on RFK's fucking grave, and RFK, what a weak ass response. I'll get back to that. She didn't say that the judge said it, but she said that the judge agreed with the DNC lawyer, whatever his name was. And I also watched an extended interview where she interviewed the lawyers representing the Bernie supporters. I watched it because I was hoping to hear them talk about the judge, like what were the exact words by the judge, and all that. But I don't know, they got sidetracked talking about some conspiracies, who are kind of interesting, honestly. Go watch it. I was still entertained. Like, it kept me listening, even though they didn't get to the part where I wanted to learn more about, but there was still interesting facts regarding how the DNC behaves and the Republican and the Kennedys and all that. RFK, really back to for him, because the person that was interviewing RFK asked him, like, so what are you planning to do? What is your plan B right now with these rule changes from the DNC and trying to make you pay? I was hoping he would say, I'm gonna sue these motherfuckers. I'm gonna take them to court. No. Well, I'm hoping that they change the rules or they make it more fair. It doesn't have to be 100% fair. And that's when Sabby said, like, what? Doesn't have to be 100% fair? It should be 100% fair. That's exactly what you should ask for. I couldn't agree with her more on that part. Let me move on to... Anyways, let me bring this RFK story to Marianne. I forgot that part. Bro, like, if this ballot access story is true, that you're not putting the hard work that you need to put in, look at what's coming to you, Marianne. If she's serious about trying to, take Biden to task as much as she can, she needs to be on her toes. I don't know shit about that campaign, about campaigning. I don't know how they work. Apparently she's doing things differently from what is the norm, I guess. But this the anonymous people talking about her, they're saying that she's not serious about trying to win. They're saying that she is doing it for, get a higher profile and sell books or whatever. That she's not put in the work necessary for ballot access. And I don't know shit about ballot access either. But I did read a few paragraphs on Ballotpedia regarding ballot access, and you gotta do it early. That's what the paragraphs say. You gotta do it early, and it takes a lot of work. And they're accusing her of not doing this, not putting in this work. Now let me come back to the Marianne Williamson volunteer. She told me that Marianne Williamson just hired people to take care of the ballot access. I don't know this girl. For all I know, she's saying the truth. I'm gonna take her at her word. I think it's, it shouldn't take this long, first of all. And it feels like she's doing it because of the article. Like, why didn't she, like, she was forced by the article to do the right thing. That's what it sounds like to me. Anyways, whatever's happening to RFK, they're probably gonna do it to her as well. She needs to fucking cross her T's and dot her I's, or however that saying goes. Or they're gonna screw her over, man. They're gonna screw over her movement, her supporters. And bro, we can't take more people getting discouraged. I mean, I think I have thick skin. I can process this better, and I don't like giving up. She may disappoint me. I might be down for a couple months, but I might get back up and think like, damn, God damn it, we need to look at third parties more seriously now. Or what the fuck are we gonna do? But the DNC cannot keep doing this, stay corrupt. We gotta penetrate that damn duopoly somehow. We gotta get progressive asses in those Congress seats. Let me move on to Cornel West. Cornel West has a new campaign manager. Jill Stein was his interim campaign manager, apparently. Well, Jill Stein is out, and he has a new campaign manager. And if you haven't read, it's Peter Daou. Does Peter Daou sound familiar to you? I hope it does. If not, I'll remind you in a minute. Peter Daou, the Cornel West people, those third-party left people, progressives that many of them have damn derangement syndrome. They are not happy about Cornel West. Compton J, or CJ from the RBN, he already put it on Twitter that he's out. He's out of the Cornel team because a lot of progressives are mad. Third-party progressives are mad at Cornel West, but that's a whole different story. I'm not really focusing on that part. It's a big story right now. It's bigger than what I want to focus on right now. People have problems with Peter Daou, all these third-party progressives, because of his background. He used to work for corporate Democrats, going all the way back to John Kerry. He worked for Hillary Clinton in 2016, so you know what happened between her and Bernie campaign. Peter Daou was part of that. I don't know when this happened, but Peter Daou has had like a change of heart, or like his politics have evolved. He's more progressive now, he claims. And here's the thing with Peter Daou. He was on the Marianne Williamson campaign. I'm not even gonna hate on this dude. Yeah, he was part of the corporate team back in 2016. So was I. I was for Bernie, but I didn't buy into the whole DNC rigging and all that. Now I believe it more. I still don't believe some parts of it, but I do agree that the DNC put a lot of unnecessary hurdles in front of Bernie to screw him. Anyways, I didn't believe that in 2016. I was for Hillary Clinton. Like, God damn it, Bernie lost. Fuck it. Let's try to have the first woman president. And listen, going back, I can talk about this later, but I'll give you a quick put a pin on it of how I feel about that election. I still think that it would have been better if have Hillary won. We can debate that later, or I can explain myself later. But yeah, I've thought about it over and over again. We'd be better off right now if Hillary had won. Back to Peter Daou. Peter Daou worked for Marianne Williamson first. He was Marianne's campaign manager. Apparently he left on good terms, as far as we know. I think his wife was sick because she was pregnant or something about his mom maybe. I can't remember the reason why Peter Daou left Marianne's campaign, or the reason he gave anyway. But everybody, yeah, good luck to you, man. Yeah, we hope everything gets better. We hope you have a good outcome. Peter Daou said there was no hard feelings. That wasn't that long ago when he left Marianne's campaign. Why the fuck is he back on that campaign game if it was that bad? I think she would have given him 2 months off or something. Maybe not, I don't know, but I would have. He's back as Cornel West's campaign manager now. What the fuck, man? That makes me suspicious. That's the part that I'm focused on. I'm not mad at Cornel West. He can deal with his angry side of third party leftists. It's an interesting story. I think that they are right to be concerned about Peter Daou. At the same time, maybe give the guy a chance, but that's their fight. I'm focused on Marianne. My gripe is why the fuck is Peter Daou back with Cornel West? Did he offer to come back to Marianne first in the background or something? That's what makes me suspicious. Like, man, maybe Peter Daou is part of this fucking 30 people, anonymous people talking to Jenn Dize, as far as I'm concerned. I'd like to know why he didn't go back to Marianne. Instead, he went to the third party route with Cornel West, or maybe in the last 2 months his politics became even more left now. But something smells fishy, man. I guess I'll share really quick on the third party outrage machine about Peter Daou. I was listening to Kit Cabello, Heartlands Media. He's very not okay with this Cornel move, to put it mildly. He suspects that Peter Daou might stab Cornel in the back, or the movement, the third party progressive movement, and on the back. He suspects that Cornel might drop out, and then people will be stuck with picking between fucking Biden and Trump. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't know, man. On that regard, I like to think that Peter Daou's being genuine with his, new political ideology. But who knows? I'm not mad. I'm just not even concerned. But I am intrigued. Why didn't he come back to Marianne? Is he just that much further left now? Or is he one of these people anonymous talking to Jenn Dize, who who probably signed an NDA agreement, you know? Yeah, one of those non-disclosure agreement. That's my whole circle of concern. This omelette of news stories with Marianne at the, as the main ingredient, as the entree, omelette or soup, whatever you want to call this. There's a lot of stories that, in my opinion, they connect to her. They come back to her, or in my head, like Marianne. RFK versus DNC, that means Marianne versus DNC. Peter Daou goes to Cornel West, why not Marianne, Jenn dies, and Marianne won't respond to her, neither will her closest, let's say, allies in independent media. Not Kyle, not Krystal, not the Vanguard. I want to be wrong, but God damn it, if you're doing things differently, have at it. But be transparent about it as much as you can. And these people are saying that those anonymous people, they're also accused Marianne of being abusive, verbally abusive, and to the point where some of them are like, very scared to come out publicly because he might throw the book at them with these NDAs. I don't like the NDAs as far as I'm concerned. I'm not gonna hold it against her because I don't know how many campaigns. Maybe she has less NDAs than most campaigns, or just about even. I don't know. Smells very fishy to me, man. I see a lot of smoke, a lot of dots, and in my head they're connecting. I don't know what people are gonna think about this, because normally when I post something about Marianne, it's something positive or me encouraging people to help her campaign. This is kind of different. It's not a very pro Marianne video, and I hope people don't doubt my look, man. I bought this fucking shirt and I donate to her campaign whenever I can. I haven't in a while, but it's just because I don't have the extra cash. But when I do, yeah, man, I throw a couple bucks at her. It will fucking anger me if she's not serious about this. I hope, just show me that you're doing something about the whole ballot access thing, so people quit dogging about you. I'm telling you, it's not just this Jenn girl that's reporting on the whole ballot access. Bosch has brought it up. Viewers of the Vanguard, super chats and non-super chats, whatever you call those. What about the ballot access? What about the ballot access stories? Who else? I heard two other people. I can't remember who. Ballot access regarding Marianne Williamson. Son of a bitch. Can we please get this ballot access train going? Or are you telling me it's not important? Because apparently she's way hyper focused on promoting that campaign online. TikTok, YouTube, whatever. All these platforms. And she's not doing the traditional shit, I guess, on the ground. I don't know. I hope she has volunteers knocking on doors. Hire fucking people for the ballot access. To me, it sounds like it's important. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe all these people are full of shit. But I do know that they know more than me. And if they keep talking about the ballot access, it must be important. That's all I got to say. Good luck.